A new day begins, and I am back in Virginia. So with one short section that I missed and I can't get to until the Blue Ridge Parkway opens, I've connected all my footsteps to this point. So we're 360 miles into Virginia, and I'll be coming to the Shenandoah National Park in 2 or 3 days. It's amazing. There's some snow along this stretch at the top, just in spotty sections. But 2 days ago, I was down in North Carolina trudging through 8+ inches. It's been a weird winter. So I'm enjoying the nice trail. It's a glorious day, and I'm excited to be out here. I've been crossing beautiful mountain meadows all morning, and I just had to stop and show you the views I've been getting. They've been really wonderful. Different than what you see out west, but verdant and I think just sumptuous. I've really enjoyed the hiking this morning. I am descending a mountain in Virginia known as the Priest. I've never heard it called Priest Mountain or the Priest Mountain. It's known as just the Priest. And among hikers, it's known for its long, uninterrupted face. So right now I'm northbound and I'm going down. And so it's a long series of switchbacks for something like 5.5 or 6 miles, unabated. At the top, it's a bit of a rock scramble, and I'm toward the top. But here later on, it should be pretty smooth, nice switchbacks going down. And the other thing that hikers, it's known for is that you're supposed to confess your sins. And I did a lot of that when I was growing up. My parents tried to raise me as a Catholic, but I never did get it. You know, here I am, a second grader, and I'm supposed to confess my sins to the priest. So I'll confess to you right now, I lied to him. Because I couldn't think of anything I'd done that ranked as a sin. I mean, I was, 7 or 8 years old. I mean, I'm all just about playing and listening to my parents and doing what I'm supposed to do. So every 2 weeks I had to make up a list of sins to confess to him to fulfill my duty. And so that is my confession to you from Virginia here on the Priest. I'm trying to get in another 30 miles and I'm on pace to do it. Makes all the difference in the world when you have good weather, no snow on the ground, no Hurricane Helene damage. It's been a delight. And see if we can get a good camping spot tonight. All right, trekking for Tarzan. We've had a good old rainy Appalachian Trail day. And folks like to talk about Rocksylvania, that, oh, the rocks in Pennsylvania are so bad. Well, let me tell you, Virginia can hold its own. I've had miles of this ever since I crossed the Blue Ridge Parkway back there a ways ago. And you'll see there, and here, and I'm filming this because it's not real bad, but there are places back there where it's sort of like put your trekking poles away and use your hands. (27th of February) and I don't know if they'll get too many more days of skiing over there. I hope not, for my sake. I'm about done with the snow. This looks like these woods look like they're pristine, but at one time all of this was clear in an agricultural land, or they used it to make coal for the industrial north. Anyhow, this is what I want to show you. So I think you get the point. It's a rock wall. They cleared this land and they had to have a place to put the rocks, so they just used it to build fences. And this one goes on for a couple hundred yards at least. And I even saw that rock walls up in Vermont and remote places up north. Who knows how old these things are? A couple hundred, maybe some of them predate the Declaration of Independence. But anyhow, it's fun for me to see those remnants of the past, and I wonder if the people who built them would be surprised to know that they're still here. And of all the work they did on their land, that's the one enduring piece. You want wildlife? I got wildlife. That was an old apple tree, and there's a lot of them through here. Shenandoah National Park was not always a park, obviously. And at one time, there were several communities that lived up on this ridge. And a lot of it was subsistence farming. And they would get their cash, a lot of it from growing apples. And there was a particular kind of apple called a milam, or milam, M-I-L-A-M, that was famous here. But when it was decided that this would become a park, they were removed through eminent domain. So whether or not you agree with that, all that remains are a few of these old apple trees, and you'll see daffodils pop up too in the woods, indicating that these were once homesteads. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I'm going uphill. This is what's known as a wolf tree. It's a tree that grew up in a field without competition from any other trees. And consequently, they don't grow very tall trunks, and they have huge branches. So it's kind of neat to see this. I mean, that tree's pretty old and it's on the downslide, but yeah, when you hear the term wolf tree, that's what it means. I'm going to do a little demonstration on how I boil water on the trail for my food. And I already misplaced a critical piece. This is a shield, and it's also a pot holder. And it really makes the alcohol a lot more efficient. So it coils up for easy storage, and it weighs very, very little. It's got a little channel there that connects it together, like so. You can see it makes a nice little chimney thing. So this is my water. It's about 2 cups of water. It's spring water. They say you should filter it, but my level of risk is such that if I feel like it's coming right out of the ground, I'm good with it. But if it was water from a stream, you would want to boil it for 10 minutes. And that's a lot of fuel, so I don't do that. This is my stove that I put the fuel in. This is a little stand. I really don't need it for this because it's on a rock. But if it was on a wooden table, I usually put that little aluminum thing just for a safety feature. This is my alcohol. I have it in this highly distinctive bottle so I don't get mixed up and drink it. This is an old syringe I use to measure. Usually about 25 cc's will boil 2 cups of water. And it doesn't have to be really exact. So now the alcohol's in there. I'm going to put the lid on so I don't have any spills. It's the hardest part now. Sometimes lighting it can be a challenge with my klutzy fingers. There we go. Okay, it's lit. Now I'll just put this on top of there. Put a lid on it. And it usually takes maybe 5 to 7 minutes for that water to boil. And while I'm doing that, I'll get my my other pot and put my freeze-dried meal in there. And by the time that's ready, the water's usually boiling, and I just pull the little pot out and pour the water direct in, and I'm eating. All right, so that's how I do it. And I know I've heard from a lot of you, and I appreciate it too. I won't be able to use this on the PCT or the CDT, so I'll get one of those little MSR rocket stoves or something like that. It's a little canister with a valve that you can turn on and off. But I've used this on the AT for my first hike, and I've used it every night I've been out since then, and it's worked well for me. They say the early bird gets the worm, and in this case the worm is a beautiful sunrise. A bit breezy, a bit cool this morning. I stealth camped last night and had trouble sleeping because of all the wind, but that's just me. I'll do better tonight. I'm shooting for a shelter called Bear Fence Hut. We'll see if I make it. I'm in the middle of Shenandoah National Park, and the springs have been problematic because it got down to 10 degrees last night, and that limits your options for accessing water. So you can see my bottle, it's filling slowly, but I'll get there.
Cool, isn't it?
It is. You guys have fun, and thank you for letting me do. What I will take away from my hike through the Shenandoah is the lights and the stars, and then the cities in the horizon. And it looks like the stars have fallen from the sky and collected in a bowl of darkness. Today is March 3rd. I started Shenandoah on February 28th, so this is day 4 in Shenandoah National Park, and I'll be leaving the park today. I haven't recorded a lot here lately. That's because a couple days ago I encountered a hiker. She was very friendly, tried to give me trail magic in the form of granola bars, and so she was quite talkative and wanted to know about my hike, and so I told her about Charles. And when I told her that he was innocent, she looked at me and without batting an eye said, "Oh, aren't they all?" which pretty much floored me. You know, here I have walked over 900 miles and I've got over 6,000 more to go because I believe in this cause. And she's telling me I'm wrong, essentially. So anyhow, it got worse because then she said, well, you know, we have the best criminal justice system in the world, but nothing's ever perfect. If there are those of you who are blinded by the American flag and think that we have the best education system, we have the best healthcare system, the moon and the stars that shine over our skies at night are better than any other country. The sun that rises at our horizon is more beautiful than any other country in the world. And that kind of nonsense, please back off from my channel. I cannot handle that kind of brainwash business. I think I love my country, but I think one of the things that makes it exquisite is that it allows for people to question. I think our country is a work in progress, and I think our founding fathers set it up that way. They knew that there would be changes on the forefront that they couldn't see. Some of them probably knew that slavery was wrong, but that they couldn't do anything about it except leave a door open for change, which they did, and thankfully it worked. So my hike is about hopefully opening some eyes, and I've got a lot more days to talk about it. I don't want to overwhelm people and bore them with it, but you know, some issues are more important than others, and when you're talking about killing people, it doesn't get more important than that. Just like when you talk about health care, that is an extremely important issue because lives are at stake. If some of you study the case and say, oh, Fred, I think he did it, and here's why, I'm cool with that. But to say, oh, well, he's guilty because we have the best criminal justice system in the world. How could he not be guilty if he was convicted of that? Well, that is the epitome of ignorance. It's the epitome of having a closed mind. It's the epitome of being brainwashed. And so I got that off my chest. I think I'm ready to continue the conversation. And if I've turned off a lot of people, that's okay. I'm going to be honest with you. And if you don't like it, don't hang around. But boy, that burned me up. Anyhow, we'll continue trekking for Tarzan. That's all. This spot holds a very dear, special place in my heart. It's about as nondescript a place as you could find on the AT. but it's where in 2019 I started and finished the Appalachian Trail. I started here and hiked down to Springer, then went up to Katahdin and hiked back, quote, home to that location. So it's good to see it again. Haven't seen it since 2019. This is the way you want to end a 31-mile day. Oh, I wish there was more trail like this. Isn't that beautiful? Very few rocks. Nice treadway, no mud. Sun's shining, although it's setting now. Makes for a happy hiker.